Hello, everyone. How are you today? I'm just going to check and make sure everything is in the right places. I'm not always great at verifying this, so I just want to take a chance while we have some people join. Make sure we are in the right place. Looks like we are. Join. And I can hear sound and all the good things. So how is everybody today? Thanks for joining. I'm excited to be here and unbox. Well, not entirely unbox, but we're going to make the cards that the kit was intended to make. And then we're going to make a couple of alternates. Hey, Wanda, thanks for joining. It's always great to have you. So I am going to put us down to the table so that we can do some talk about a couple of things. So we are going to be going through the cards that came in the Fluttering Garden Paper Pumpkin Kit. So if you got your kit already, leave a comment. Tell me you got it. Have you made your cards yet? Each of the Paper Pumpkin kits come with full color instructions to create the kit. And we are also in the anniversary month for Paper Pumpkins. So with that, you get two stamp sets. And I'm trying to get my box out here because I should have had it handy because I wanted to get the images of the stamps. Since I've kind of already played around with mine, wanted to get this out and have it handy. So with it being a birthday month for Paper Pumpkin, we get two stamp sets. So one is Fluttering Hummingbird, which has these beautiful hummingbird images. And it has a couple of great sentiments. So hello, wishing you a happy anniversary and birthday wishes with a little bit of background imaging here, a little flower. So really beautiful lined ink for these images. Then the kit itself is Fluttering Garden. This is the stamp set that goes with it. So there's really pretty lined images again, and so greenery and some little florals and things like that. So just really beautiful images we're getting on these stamps in this month's kit. I will say, when I first opened it, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. When I first opened it, I was like, not so in love. I love the images of the stamps, but it's a lot of very basic materials. But what I have really enjoyed is the stamps and how we can use the stamps to do a lot of different things. So in the end, I got more and more excited as I played with the kits. So I hope that you will find that to be the same. And you never know. And I know that when we are getting these two stamp sets during the year, that is definitely a considerable boost in what you get in your box. So again, these are the gorgeous stamps in the kit. Also, we got some gems, which look very similar to some that we've had available before. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull them out. So I think these are basically the same as what we have right here, which these are the iridescent foil gems. So if you have any of those, you might want to grab them because basically you have a good amount. Like I think I had plenty for what we're creating, but if you like to put a few more on, like, and you have these from before, um, that is awesome for you to just grab, and that way you can add some extra things here. The stamps for the kit are here. And I've already been playing around with them. So these are from so I get a couple boxes of this each month because I like to make the alternates. And so this is my spare stamp set. And you also get some dimensionals. So we got mini dimensionals here. And that is the only adhesive we get this month in the kit because we are going to do a lot of stamping. The ink spot this month is basic gray. Okay, so we have that. And then for the items in the kit, we have the same envelope for all the cards. And I don't know if you can see the detailing here, but this is just a kind of like what I would say second or third generation of Coastal Cabana. Which I think it's fun that we have Coastal Cabana. We haven't played with that in a while. And I love that this matches the stamp, the one stamp that's in the kit. All right. And they're just plain white on the inside. So I'm going to set those aside. And then we have a page of die cuts. We got, I think, 6 different birds, hummingbirds here. And the word beautiful. Okay. We have a second die cut that has some other already pre-printed sentiments. So here, this goes with the beautiful. Have a beautiful Mother's Day. I'm so grateful for you, and this beautiful big thank you. Now, when I was talking, so then we also, like I mentioned earlier, I was telling you we have these 3 other sentiments that also came in that second stamp set. And then we have these card bases. So we have 2 of the same card base and then one that has a circle on it. So they're all the same, but if you can see, it has kind of like, I don't know, it kind of almost looks like crumpled up paper that got smoothed out. It's got a little bit of a gray and white hue to it, but it's very textured looking. Okay. Some might say this is what your walls look like when they put the little bit of texture on the wall before they put the paint on. This kind of a little bit looks like that. So it could be a lot of different things, but it does help to allow the lines of the stamped images to really pop. Okay. And so we are going to make the cards based on the instructions from the kit. All right. And so let's go ahead and just dig right into that. So our first card is the one with the circle on it. So I'm going to just move some of these things out of the way, and I'm going to grab my stamps, which I have over here. Let's see here. Well, some of them are not in here. Where is that? I'm wondering if I dropped something. Sometimes I drop things, behind my space, and I lose track of it. So this is where it's always great that I have those extra stamp sets because I lose things. But I think it's really odd because I thought I had put all my stamps in here. And I am not seeing this one. So we are going to need this stamp right here. Let me grab it. We have this big image right here. And I believe that's the only stamp we need at the moment. So I'm going to grab that. And I have a block already right here. So we are just going to mount this right onto the block. Now this one fits pretty much edge to edge. Whenever you get your stamps, your first paper pumpkin, you always get a block. It's a thinner block. This is one of the ones that you can purchase out of the catalog. But I like it better because I can hold on to it with this little ridged edge here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it does really help. And then whenever I use my stamps for the first time, I do like to rub on them just to kind of get off any of the residue that is from the mold of them creating the stamps. And so I'm just going to do that. And then I am going to grab some piece of paper here that I can use to test our stamps on, since I am now starting from the beginning on this particular one. Where is my foam mat? Gosh, you would think I could be ready, but sometimes things don't always go the way you plan. So, I'm not seeing that there. Found it. All right. So we're going to do a little test of the stamp onto this little piece of tape or paper here. Is that not the open one? Here it is. So just going to ink up our stamp. Now, if you have the big stamp pads, which I do, that would make this process a little bit faster. But because it is a larger stamp, you do want to ink it up good, okay? And then we're just going to press it down. So there you go. That is the stamped image. They're beautiful. Thank you, Wanda. I have found it to be the best. I've never had it not work. I will just say, anytime if I rub on the stamp first when it's out brand new, I never have an issue with the ink, not one time. So thank you for that, because I'm not sure who I learned that tip from, but I agree it's the most successful. All right, so I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to get our foam mat back because I didn't mean to do all of that aside. All right. So it asks us to stamp around this circle. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a circle printed on here, and it's really there for a guide. Okay. And I'm haven't folded my card base because I just think it's going to be easier to do the stamping with it like this as opposed to having that score. And but I dropped out. So let's see here if I can get us all back together and get us back going again. I don't know, Wanda, if you can hear me. Let me know if you were able to hear me the whole time, or if I just my image went away. I'm going to check my Facebook group again and just see what happened there. See if it's continuing or if there is a delayed, or did it start a new one? Seems like it's continued, and it didn't cause a break. So I'm not sure what happened. I just went away. Okay, hopefully you're getting me back now, Wanda, because I just checked my Facebook and I am back into that. Let me go over to YouTube and see if I see it there as well. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. I think it's okay. Let's see. I think we're good. All right. Well, hopefully you're back and you're seeing me. It seems like everything is okay. So we had a little technical issue there. I'm not sure why or how or what, but hopefully things are back on track. All right. So I was mid stamping while we were having that little glitch. So I'm now picking this up, and so I'll show you how this looks closer to it. So you can see there's a little bit more of an opening up here, and how we are kind of hugging that circle with the stamped image. So it's kind of along the line of the branch of flowers there. So that is the stamping for that first card. And so now we're going to burnish this card base, the score line, and we will go from there. So what we need for this card is I'm so grateful for you, as well as the two medium hummingbirds. So it's these two right here. And you just pop those out of the out of that card piece because they're die cuts already cut. All right, and so we are going to flip these over and we're going to put some dimensionals on. Now I'm going to just keep using the one I had started from before, and we're going to put 3 onto this big circle here. I need to get some paper for this that is a darker color. I feel like we can never see all the things. All right, so on this one, it says to put them here and here. And then we have one here and one up here. All right, so those are the two. I really am hoping you can see me again, Wanda. I see people watching, so I hope that that's a good sign. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take the dimensional covers off of the sentiment circle here. So I like to just line it up straight as I can. And this is just going to go right on top of here. Pretty much right where that circle is, okay? Now, I could have gotten mine in closer because I can see my stem edges, but they're going to get covered up when I add the birds. So I really do think like it's in the perfect spot, okay? And now we are going to be adding this bird up here, like so. Okay. And then this bird is going to get added down here, like that. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and remove these dimensional covers right here. And I'm just going to make a pile of those off to the side. And looks like we're going to put it down right there. And then we'll do this one as well. And it's going to go right here. So hi, everybody that's joined. Thank you for joining. I hope you made it through our little technical issue. And you're getting to join us. So grab your kit or just sit back and watch. This was our first card that the kit was intended to make. Really, really beautiful. And that inked image is just so pretty. Now, one of the things like that we'll do when we get to the alternates, but you could easily come in with some colored pencils and one of the blender pen, which is like a pen that has like a soft tip with water in it, to do a little blending. We're going to do that on some of the alternates, but I just wanted to say, like, you could easily put a little color on this if you wanted. Now, I think they're really beautiful just how they are. And you can see now how that image that's on the texture of the card base, how it really accents and causes that image that we stamp to pop. All right, so that was our first card. I'm just going to set that aside here, and I'm going to get our information on the next card. So we have this card base, and let's see here on our instructions. So we're going to need the big hummingbird, like this. Okay. And we're going to need that word beautiful right here. And I don't see anybody commenting, so I am wondering how things are going, but I do see people watching. So I am hopeful that everything is okay. All right, so we're going to need this, this little sentiment block right there, and the little flag right here. That's going to go along with it. All right. So now we are going to, we're going to need that same stamped image, but we need one other one. And that is that other flower piece. So I'm going to get that stamp out. Now, I've already used this one, but I need to grab a block here. So this is the kind of block that you get when you get your first kit. Oh, hey, Wanda, I'm so glad. I'm glad it's working now. All right, so we're going to tuck those things off to the side. I'm going to grab my foam mat here, and I am going to go ahead and burnish the score line, just because now I'm going to want to see the space a little better, so that I know where I need to. Before, we had a nice circle that told us where things should go, but now I need to be able to see the space here. All right, so we are going to be using this fun big image again. So let me get ink on here, and we're going to stamp it twice again, but in a completely different way. So now the stamp is so that this flower piece is basically going straight up on this edge, okay? And so I'm just going to stamp right there like that, okay? And now we're going to ink this up one more time. And we're going to kind of do the opposite in the bottom right corner. Okay. And so now that's going to go like this. And I'm just trying to get the spacing about the same as I have at the top. Okay. So that's what you end up with, is a nice kind of flow here. Now that isn't it, because we are going to add this image to it. And I think this is such an interesting, it's like the top of a flower. So I don't know if this kind of flower would really be without a stem, or if it's like something that's, I don't know what kind of flower this is. So, but we're going to put one right there. Okay. And then we're going to do the opposite, the same thing on the opposite side. Okay. So I am going to turn this like that, just because I think it'll be easier to stamp, and it's going to go right here. Okay. You can't hear me. Is that for real? Because I thought I checked. Is that for real? Because I'm checking and it sounds like I can hear you. I think that's strange. I feel like I'm being heard on both Facebook and YouTube. Let me just check Facebook one more time. See if that seems like it's fine. Can anybody else hear me? I see 5 people out there. So I would love to know if you can. That would be great. Thank you. All right, so we are going to get our things set up here for some dimensionals. And again, it's our only adhesive. So we are, you hear me fine? Thank you, Patty. I appreciate that. Oh, you can hear me now. Thank you. Okay, good. Very, very good. Thank you, ladies. And okay, so now we are going to be putting the dimensionals on all of these pieces. And this is going to be a bit of a layering piece here. So we are going to be adding these things on top of each other. So I'm going to be putting the dimensionals on the edge of this rectangle piece, because this little piece is going to be going in the very middle of that. Okay. And so you really kind of need to get them on the edge, because there isn't room for that to go underneath. And I guess they didn't give us any glue dots or anything like that, because this would have been like the only piece that we needed it for. So looks like I got that set up pretty good there. So we got that piece done. Now it does say we're going to put a dimensional right here on the beautiful, and right here. So that's that piece. And then we are going to put some onto our hummingbird. So let's do that. So I don't know if you can see, that's where those are going. And we got them on our hummingbird. Okay, so the very first thing is that we're going to put this down right here in the middle. Okay. And so we're just taking off the covers on there, and that's going to go right, whoops, I'm going to put that right in the middle. But I do like to line that up like that before I do it. Okay, and that just really helps me see the lines across, to see if I can get that straight. So now that's just on there right in the middle. And then we're going to get rid of the dimensional covers on this piece, and it's going to go right on top of this. Okay. And it's going way over here to the far right side. And so try not to stick it down till I get it in the right spot, but you kind of want it to be in the center. And feel like I'm getting caught, my dimensional is getting caught on the edge of the strip that's underneath there. So that's how that piece goes right there. Okay. And then the beautiful goes on top of that, and it's going to say, have a beautiful Mother's Day. Okay. And that's just going to go right there. So that's how that looks. Bunch of layers there, but once again, we don't have any dimensionals on top of each other, so really we don't have any mailing issues. Okay, so now we're going to add our hummingbird to the top of here, and it's going to go right right up here, and I just want to get it in the right spot, making sure I got my dimensional on the right spot. So that's what we have here, right? Now, I've heard people talk like they don't love that we're covering up all of the floral piece. Like you could have probably could tilt or move it around a little bit. So like I could try and see if we can adjust this just a tad so that we get more of that flower up there, right? So if I wanted to, I could bring it in a little bit like so, and I have a little bit more of it, but now I have a dimensional on top of a dimensional, which basically means I'm just going to take this off of there so that we don't really need it. And I'm going to add one down here at the bottom of its wing to tuck that down. So that's what I'm going to do to that. And so I have a little bit more of the flowers showing, but not a ton. Oh my goodness. I am at the phase, people, where I am like hot, cold, hot, cold. What about you? My goodness. I can't stand it. All right, so what I forgot to do on the other one was add these beautiful gems. So we will do that now. And I'll bring that one back and we'll add those on. But for right now on this one, it says we're adding 5 of them onto here. So I'm going to grab a larger one. And we're going to put one right here. I need to fix my putty on my take your pick tool to grab better. Okay, so there we got 2 right there. And then we're going to grab a big one here. And one's going to go right here. Okay. And then another large one is going to go right there. And a smaller one is going to go right here like that. Okay, so that is that card. They're really beautiful. I mean, I think that the stamped images are really, really beautiful. So pretty, so pretty. Now let's put the gems on to this card while I have it out. I'm going to fix my putty. This has just gotten old and cruddy here. So to do that, you just turn it out and you can see like it doesn't take much for you to turn it out because look at how much came out. And then I just try to like mush it down and get it on the top up there so I can grab things. All right. So on this one, we're going to grab a large one that's going to go right here and a smaller one that's going to go right there. Got some putty on there. And then another small one that's going to go right in here. Then we'll grab a larger one for down here and a smaller one right here. And that's that card. Really beautiful. These are really, really pretty. Okay, so let's do the third card from the kit. Okay, and we just need this card base, and we're going to be using this stamped image on here. I have to say, I honestly think like that's my favorite one out of all of the images is this little garden of flowers. It's so pretty. And this card is going to be horizontal. So it's going to be going in this direction. And we're going to be stamping those across the bottom of the card base. Okay. So we're going to ink up the stamp right here. And now whenever I do this, I like to start and do the outside edges first. The reason why I do that is so that I get a nice clean image on the edge, as opposed to going across and having it be a different width or edge around the card base. So now we have like the same kind of image on the corners. Okay, so now we will add some to the middle of there. All right, so now we're gonna just line this up right next to it, just like so. And then we'll have one more that we need to put in. And it looks like I might have a little bit of a bigger space. So I'm going to have like a little bit of more of an opening in the middle, I guess, and not have it different on the edge. So here's what we end up with, because we're going to be adding that thank you on there. And so I don't think you'll notice it. Okay, so now we need the rest of our die cuts. So we need the big thank you. Okay, and we are going to need the additional hummingbirds. I just love the colors of all these hummingbirds. I don't think real hummingbirds are these beautiful colors, but they're really pretty, what they chose to do the watercoloring with. So, all right, so we're going to get our dimensionals out again to put on our birds and our thank you here. And so let's see, we got one here and one there and one there, and here, here, and here. All right, then let's see. Looks like on this one, we're putting a dimensional there and there. And on this one, here and here. And then on here, here and here. All right. All right, let me get those out of the way. I'm going to get a drink. And start to put this together. So the first thing I'm going to do is put down our thank you. And get all these dimensional covers off. I feel like they're harder and harder to get off. sometimes. It's like they don't want to cooperate. All right. So just lining this up. All right. And I am going to put the long loopy Y, the piece that comes down, I'm going to put it right into that area that is got the gap. Okay. So it's going to go just like that. Okay. Then we're going to take off this one. Let's see. This one is going to go right up here. So we're going to have it like that. And then this one is going to go right down here like that. And then we have this last one. And then all we got to do is add some gems and we are done. All right, it just goes right down there. And so that is our card. Now let's add our gems. I always have to play around with this putty when it first comes out. All right, so we're going to have one there and one there. And then we're going to have one here and here and here. And that is that card. So those are the 3 cards that the kit was intended to make. Now I have been, I've changed my plans. So I'm taking off a week when I get my kit to plan. And so I do have planned for you guys. I have about 8 different alternates to share. And so we're going to start to make a couple of those today. And so let me grab my little stash here and see what would be the kind of a quicker one because of the fact that we don't have a ton of time today. So I think these 2 would be the easiest and go probably quicker than some of the other ones. So we are going to start here. All right, so this is the card that I did here. Very simple design here. And I have made myself some different sketches. And so this is a sketch I used for this card. And I love it because I can always make them do and look differently. So we're going to set that aside. All right. But I have a lot of the pieces ready to go. We just have to cut a couple of things. And so I'm starting with a card base that is petal pink. And it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches. Okay. And then I do have a piece of black that is cut at this is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Okay. And then we're going to cut this piece, which is a part of the cardstock. It's going to get cut to 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So we are going to cut this down to 4 3/4. By 3 1/2. Like that. That's that. All right, so we have that piece there. Okay, like that. Huh. Why did that not come out right? Well, my black piece must be bigger than I need it. Must need to be cut as well. because I said 3 5/8. Yep. By 4 7/8. Yeah. So this is too big. That's what it is. I'm gonna have to trim this. So 4 7/8. By 3 5/8. Which is right, because I needed that little strip right there. So we will be using that. Okay. So this is going to get adhered onto here like so. All right. Now I do need, and I don't have it cut, but I did cut a piece of white for the inside of the card. We're not going to worry about that because there's nothing on it. Like I showed you, like I don't have any sentiment on there. So, so we're going to layer this piece here, and I do have the flag strip from the sentiment label, and I did bring in some additional stamps because I just wanted some different images. And so I don't know if you have this set, but Words of Beauty is what I used. And I brought in I Appreciate You. And I'm just going to grab that set, that stamp that I had already used. Okay. And we're going to stamp I Appreciate You onto this little flag. Now, I know that all of you have many, many stamps that you can pick from, and you may find something different that fits onto this little banner piece. And so we have that done. Okay. And then we add this piece here. Now, this piece we're going to trim. It's going to go on the back of there. And then these are pieces we don't need. Okay. So let's go ahead and put our card together. Let me get my glue out here. And I've been using my little egg, this cute little egg, to hold my glue, but this glue, it doesn't settle in there as good as the other holders. And so I keep getting a clog in my glue. That's all right. We know how to fix it. I got to get like the little glue booger off the end, right? Or stick a pin. I always have a pin handy here to go in there. Okay. And so then this is going to go right on here. Now I love this black with the petal pink. I just think that it causes the bird and the background of the card base from the kit to just pop right off this card. Okay. I just think it's really, really beautiful. Okay. So we are going to add some dimensionals to the back of this little strip right here, like so. And this piece is going to come across like this. And I need my snips here. All right. Now I just kind of decided where I wanted to cut here. And so I'm just snipping that off just like that. And then I'm going to glue this piece down. Okay. And we're just going to glue that right down here. And it's just a little bit off the edge of the center piece there, like that. And then we're going to add our sentiment banner right on top of here, like so, like that. Okay. So that's that. All right, now we're going to add some dimensionals to our bird. And I think that's plenty. And we'll add that right down into the center of the card, like so. And I did it more in the center than this one. This one I had it a little bit leaning off, but I kind of like it more centered on here. And then we're going to add some of the gems. So we're just going to add, we're just going to add one right here. And then one right here. One up here, like that. All right. And those are the cards. So that is our first little alternate. Very simple. I love how you can use the elements of the card kit, bring in just a little bit of cardstock, and voila, you have a completely different card design. Okay. All right. So I have one more for you today that we're going to do. And I'm just making sure. No, this isn't the one I had planned. So this is the one I have for today. So this is the card. This is the sketch I used. And I have the pieces here. Okay. So this is a gray granite piece of cardstock. Again, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. All right. I have this square, and this is Gorgeous Grape. This is a 3 by 3 inch square. Okay. We are going to need the word beautiful from the kit, and I am not seeing it in my envelope. So let me grab that from my stash. Here. Thought I had pulled everything out. There's our beautiful. And we have a little piece here, which this is going to be 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So we're going to do a little cutting on this. It's already 1 3/4, but we're going to make it a square now by taking this part off. And I can actually do another one if I wanted, but we got that. And we're going to stamp on here with that fun flower. Now I want my scratch paper here, because we are going to do this part on and part off the piece here. All right. So I'm actually taking the bottom of the stamp and putting it at the corner of the paper piece there. Okay. And now I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing. So you can see where I'm setting and what's not making it onto the piece there. Okay. So that's that piece, just like that. All right. But now this is what I was saying with regard to, I'm going to keep the foam mat out because I think it'll be easier for you to see. Is I pulled out my colored pencils. Actually, I have a new set of colored pencils because I could not find mine. It's been a while. And this one is the one that has 13 colors, Real Red, Calypso Coral, Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, Blue, fresh freesia, melon mambo, pecan pie, early espresso, basic gray, and basic black. Okay. And what I wanted to get out is I wanted to get out the pumpkin pie and the old olive. And I think that is it. And what I wanted to do, so I just wanted to kind of show you how I would go about this. And so I'm just doing a little bit of coloring on the leaves here to bring in some color to this. And sometimes I'm coloring in, and sometimes I'm just going around the lines. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with my blender pen here. And I'm just smoothing out the color that I put down. And that is that. And now I'll show you what that looks like. So I just added a little bit of color onto there. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do this side now. And this is the great thing about these lined images, is that you can do a little bit of fun coloring on here and have a great time. Let me just make sure I'm getting the right one. Is that where I was? Yeah. I just love this because it just gives it a little bit more interest. Okay. And then I chose the pecan pie because I think it's a little closer to, or I'm sorry, the pumpkin pie, because I think it's a little closer to the colors on the birds. And we don't necessarily have all the colors that are in here, but I thought this would be a little bit closer to the colors that are showing on the wings of the birds. And so I'm just putting a little bitty circle on here, and then I'm just using the blender pen to color that in. And so that's what we end up with, just like that. Okay. And I did it here, but here I use the blends markers, right? Yeah, the Stampin' blends. I use those, but I used Petal Pink on here, and I thought it was pretty light. So as you can tell, I think that this one is closer to the wings on the bird. Okay. So let's go ahead and put our card together, because we are almost at the top of the hour. And so we are just going to be mounting this on with some glue. This square, it's 3 by 3 right on here. And we're just framing it with the top so that you have the same around the 3 sides here. And then this one is going to go right down here like so. Okay. And I am bringing it down just a little bit like so. And we're going to just add that right onto here. And really want it like this. Okay. So like that. Okay. So that's what we have so far. And then we are going to add, now I didn't grab the bird I wanted, which I guess it doesn't really matter, but for all intents, I think that this one would be the better one. And this is just going to go right here. onto the card like so. And we're going to use some dimensionals for that. So we're just going to add our dimensionals here. And so that's going to go right up here like so. There we go, like that. Now we have our beautiful as well. And we're going to put that on with some dimensionals. And then I don't know if you remember this, but there is that petal pink weaved, oh gosh, I don't know what to call it, some kind of trim that it came, and it's in the catalog, I think, right now. But I undid it all. And so I have some strands of it that I thought would make a nice little bow behind to go right with the beautiful. And so let's just do a little bow with this. And I'll just play around with this until we get it the size we want it, because I don't need it to be super big, like so. And then we'll trim this off here. We'll have our little bow to go with that beautiful. All right, so let's add our bird. Oh, these dimensional covers, they're really giving me heck. They're really giving me heck today. All right, so this is going to go right here like so. All right, and then the beautiful is going to go at the top here like this, right off the side here. And then we're going to add this little bow right up in here like that. So let me just grab a glue dot here from my roll, and then we can add that. I'm going to turn it around because I want it to go in this direction, but we're just going to put it right underneath here like that. And right underneath that beautiful. All right, and then let's add some of our little gems. And this is a really simple card that you can make, and you could make this in just about any color cardstock that you choose. So it doesn't have to be these colors, but I felt like they went well with the kit. So we're going to add one there, and then we'll put one up here, and we'll add one more. Let's just add one more down here. Okay. And that is our second alternate card. So we have 2 alternate cards today that we made. So here's the one, the sample, and here is the other one. Now, I don't know if you can see the difference in the flowers here, but I just think this one with the pumpkin pie matches better. So we have that here. And then our other alternate that we did right here. And then the 3 cards from the kit. So thank you all for joining me today. Now we are in the subscription period for the Lakeside Retreat. You can continue to select this paper pumpkin until April 10th. This one is going to coordinate with a suite that is going to be available from the online store. I don't know the date that it's going to become available, but it's not yet. But this really gives you some sneak peek images for that. And you can see here the stamp set that's in the coordinating suite is just beautiful with that little deck chair and little birds and things like that. And there's some really beautiful paper that goes with it. But you can also see some of the images from the stamp kit that's going to be coming out, the Paper Pumpkin. So looks like it's going to be a really beautiful kit. If you enjoy the water side, you're going to love that. Oh, you did. How fun. I'm so glad that you were able to get some done today, Wanda. That's awful. That's awesome. All right. So if you haven't signed up for that Paper Pumpkin, please do. There's information if you're looking for a demonstrator to support you with Paper Pumpkin. I would love to be that person. And there is in the description information and a link for you. Also, we have the coordinating dies that are available with Paper Pumpkin. So you must be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber to get these dies. And they are so cute. Look at this little sign here. But I also love that this has some really beautiful etching in the paper. So you could use this to create all kinds of little wooden fence or maybe even a ladder of some sort. We have the word wonderful, three little flowers, three little butterflies, and this really fun burst of I'm going to say fireworks here. So it looks like this is going to go with the May kit. So the fireworks. April is this little fun sign. And June is going to be these little flowers and the butterflies. So, and the word wonderful, I'm guessing, is for all of them. So very, very fun die cut set that's available right now. You can purchase that in the store. And also we have coming up in May is Sparkling Celebrations, which looks like it's going to be geared towards summer and maybe some fireworks. And then in June, we have Bikes in Bloom, which sounds like we're going to have some little bikes in there and flowers and things like that. Each one of these is going to have 9 cards, so 3 of 3 different designs. So we have a lot of fun things coming. So I cannot wait to get those kits in my hand and share alternates with you as we go. In the meantime, I hope you have a great rest of your day and your weekend. And I look forward to seeing you next Sunday with some alternates. I will say that for Easter, I will not be here. So we will not have a Sunday live on Easter. So is that next Sunday? I think it might be next Sunday. So if I am not here next Sunday, I'll be back the next week. And like I said, I have 6 additional alternates for you right now that I can't wait to share. So I will see you the next time. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.